Hello everybody, it is Friday, April 15th, and it is time for my sketchbook review. There's a decent amount of sketches, I guess. I was actually really busy. I had my last few days of work, and I was trying to get things set up for me starting my new job, and I finally got a call from them, Tuesday night? Asking if I had gone and got my drug test, my physical, and I was like, no, you guys, this is the first I'm hearing of it. And they're like, oh, well, I guess you gotta go do that. So I was actually a little worried because I'd put in my 2-week notice and I hadn't heard from them in over a week, almost a week, and I was like, well, maybe they changed their mind. But the director of nursing kept saying I was hired. I was like, I just never got a call. And then I come to find out that they thought that they had called me to get my stuff taken care of. So they called me Tuesday night. I had to work all day Wednesday, but I went and picked up the paperwork anyway right before work, and then all day yesterday I was running around getting my drug test done, getting my physical done, blah 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 blah. And then I finally got to come home and I did a little bit of window shopping because I'm still planning for my 10,000 subscriber giveaway, even though I know it's quite a ways away. I think I already know what I'm gonna give away. And I came home and then I made some lunch and then I putzed around and I talked to some people, and then I decided it was time to sit down and do some work. But then I wanted to work with my watercolors, and that took forever because I'm not good at watercolors. But whatever, there's stuff to show, so I'm gonna go ahead and show it. It's actually been a really exciting week. I got a few days off, and then I start my new job on Tuesday with orientation and paperwork and everything like that. So I'm hoping that they give some excellent training, because I asked if I should pull out my books and stuff, my buddy that works there, if I should pull out my books and review my care stuff, and he's like, no, they're gonna fully train you, don't worry about it. And I was like, all right. But anyway, we'll start with the sketches this week, and then we'll move on to the colored works, because there's a little bit of both. A little bit of both this week. Yes, sirree. Oh my goodness, that was my stomach. I'm hungry. Alright, so we ended here last week with Pepper and her twin brother dancing. And I had intentions of finishing this, but I never did. So I was asking for prompts, and I got one for Piper, I was told I had never drawn Brian. So I drew a picture. Ooh, I don't want to cover the mic, sorry. I drew a picture of Brian, and Piper's reading him a bedtime story, and he's kind of snuggling up to her, trying to get more stories out of her. And she knows the trick. She calls him out on it. But yeah, he's a cutie. And then there's a little Donovan over here. It's like, where's my bedtime story? So he has a little crush on her. This was part of a role play over on Harp and Star. On Harp and Stars. I think it's called Little Songbirds. Yeah, it's called Little Songbirds. And it's Mildred Bloodworth having tea with Lily Teal and Piper. And Mildred had made the comment about how, because her husband's a mortuary, Thornton does mortuary photography, so they have like corpses in this little studio downstairs, and she thought it would be cute, like, to comment on how she wanted to make Lily and Piper have a little tea set down there, and that she would go down there in the afternoon and have tea with them every day. And I was like, that's pretty dark, so I totally had to draw it. And I did. It didn't turn out very well because Mildred's just huge in comparison to Piper and Lily. I was like, oh, it's the table distance. I was like, but that's not a big enough table to really justify that perspective. So if I ever finish this, which I kind of want to, I would shrink her down or make them bigger. I'm not sure I'm going to fix it or finish it. My Cintiq has been acting up. I think that's the #1 purchase with my up-and-coming pay besides bills, is I'm going to start setting money aside to get a new Cintiq. Mine works, it's just the little connector where it goes in, it keeps turning off the actual workable monitor, and that makes me sad. It frustrates me. So like, I have to get it in the right position, and then I can't move it at all, and I was like, well, that defeats the purpose. But I think that the Cintiqs they have now are wireless, so ooh, that might be sexy. This was an idea that me and Kay had. Actually, she was asking who she thought would have, what role our characters would have in a circus. Initially, I had Piper paired off with Sam because Sam likes his knives and everything. I was going to have her be the girl that he threw the knives at, and she was just going to shout compliments at him at his excellent knife throwing abilities. But then she asked what Cherry would do, and I was like, oh, something like Lion Tamer or something. She's like, well, what about, I had an idea for Moth Tamer. I was like, but that doesn't really seem like Cherry. I was like, no, that seems more like Piper. And it reminded me that I'd had that picture. I don't know if Kate like remembered it or not, but I remembered after she mentioned it, that I had that picture of Piper fighting the moth in the Edwing story that was going, well, not really going on, that had been mentioned. And she was getting all beat up by the moth. And I just thought Moth Tamer was really cute in regards to that, especially because it kind of brought that back. So I was like, yeah, and Cherry actually would be a better girl for Sam to be throwing knives at. Those two can never meet. I've pretty much decided they can never meet, because if they meet, there's going to be so much chaos. It's going to be unstoppable. It is literally going to be unstoppable. They will feed off of each other so much. They cannot meet. It's true. But yeah, and moths are really fuzzy and fluffy, so I figured Piper would like fluffy, cute little things. And she'd be so sad because like she does the circus with bats and stuff like that. I was like, you can't eat them. They're not food. They're friends. Yeah, so that was a cute idea. And this was from a roleplay over on Harp and Stars. The First Gathering, I believe it's called. And Adam dances with Emilia a couple times until she gets all rude and he decides that she's not worth his time anymore, because she's going to be like that. Forget it. I'll go get someone nice. So I did a little doodle real quick of them dancing. And this is from a role play that I'm doing in private with Z, of her characters, America and Virginia, meeting Adam. And Adam likes to compliment girls, and the bigger the reaction they give, the more he wants to compliment them. So Virginia going all red like a tomato is like just the cherry on a sundae for him. So yeah, but America's like, oh, good grief, what did you say to her? No, I don't think she's mad. Like, it didn't come off as mad. She's like more curious. It's like, what on earth did you say to her to get her that red? Because it wasn't inappropriate. It was actually, for Adam, pretty tame. So I was like, he just complimented her. So yeah, Virginia doesn't take compliments well, I guess, because she gets embarrassed, but whatever. I thought it was cute, so I doodled a picture. And I was drawing a quick Virginia down here, but she looks a little bit too much like Piper like that, so I have to adjust the style, I think. And I was just doing a quick thumbnail for a pinup I want to do. I don't know if it's going to be Piper or Cherry or someone else. I mean, I could always draw pictures of other characters. It doesn't always have to be mine. But yeah. And there's a story behind this. Okay, so back in the Great Mouse Detective days, when I was trying to get Cherry involved in that, I pulled her out because of Harp and Stars, and I didn't want her confused with too many universes. But initially I had Cherry as this murder for hire person, this oh, what do you call, I don't want to say assassin, that's ridiculous. Whatever. Anyway, so she was always pulling Margot into things, like pulling Margot into situations with her to help her out because she needed an extra hand or something. And like, she was an endless flirt when it came to Margot, just because it made her so uncomfortable. And Shrew Girl posted some artwork last night, and I was like, I haven't drawn them together in a long time, so I did it. They're not actually, I want you to see, they're not actually kissing. She's just teasing her, so y'all just calm down. Calm down. Don't you be all getting all crazy over there. But yeah, so this is Shrew Girl's character, Margot, and Cherry. And then I drew Cherry sitting inappropriately in a chair. And then this was a story I had going on for Cherry, is that she's at the mousetrap and everyone's like in a good mood and drinking maybe like a good heist went off or something. And she sneaks a few or snuck a few, I haven't really decided. And she gets a little tipsy, and then Patty cuts her off, tells her to go home and sleep it off. And as she's going home, she's stumbling around singing in Gaelic. And she's terrible at singing, but in Irish communities, singing is like a pastime. It's something that like everybody did. So she would know how to sing. She would know songs. She might not sound the best at it, but she would be able to do it. And the fact of the matter is Cherry's actually highly intelligent. She just doesn't act it. She doesn't want to. Why should she? She doesn't have to prove she's smart to anybody. She'll just punch him in the face. But she does speak multiple languages. Well, she speaks 2 languages, Gaelic and English. But she doesn't, I mean, English is her main language. It's what everybody speaks because it's America in the 1800s. But every now and then she slips into a little bit of Gaelic, especially the song. She likes singing in Gaelic. She doesn't like singing in English as much. I think it's just the different ways that the words are pronounced. She just prefers Gaelic. Anyway, so I drew that. That was actually a sketch request. I was live streaming last night and I asked for requests and people were like, oh, draw Cherry. So I was like, okay. So I did. Then they asked me to draw a duck piper and I drew a little duck piper there crying because I never draw her anymore. This is Cherry and Maggie. Maggie's a vole. And Maggie and Sakura Heart's character Poppy are friends, and Cherry just beat her up in a role play. And Cherry's just basically saying, you know, you got a problem with the fact that I beat up your friend. And, you know, Maggie's probably going to say, no. But, you know, just in case. Or she might get an attitude. That would be interesting to see. But yeah, so I drew this little encounter real quick. It didn't actually happen, but in my mind, this is how it would go. Because Cherry, again, she doesn't respect personal spaces. She will get up in your face. She will press her forehead to your forehead if she thinks it's going to intimidate you. Because that's how she rolls. Anyway, and then I drew a little Sakura over here. Look at her. She's so cute. No, she's fine with it. Don't worry, my friend. Drunk Piper grabbing Donovan's tail. I don't even know why. Okay, and then I drew a nice psychotic looking Cherry with a baseball bat. And then this is the last page of the sketchbook. It's just, I was thinking about Pepper and her twin. I was like, oh man, look at that. Look at that squish angle. I was trying to draw around a camera because I was live streaming. And then I always get these weird angles when I do that. Anyway, I was thinking about Pepper and her twin. And I was like, what kind of relationship would they have? And I always imagine he's like this big, gigantic goofball. But he's actually really serious. He really just wants her to be happy. And he's actually really, really good to her. But he's not going to let her know, like, in this instance, he's like, yeah, I want you to be happy, you know, because we're twins and we're meant to take care of each other. And he's like, now go make me a sandwich. So, I mean, that's the kind of guy I wanted him to be. And I was just trying to get his design down so I could draw him a little bit more. And then these two, yeah. He's just being honest with her, and she's just gonna sit there. She doesn't believe him. Because when you have a silly sibling and all of a sudden they get serious, you're gonna assume that something's up. Either they're not feeling good or whatever, because that's how siblings roll. If they're not teasing you, something's wrong. But alright, so that's it for the sketches. Now let's take a quick look at my colored works for this week. This is my Strathmore 500 series. This is a very expensive sketchbook. It's very high quality paper, and I got it for one reason and one reason only. Because you can watercolor on it, and you can actually watercolor on both sides. As you guys will see the next time I do a watercolor, I'll force this down, I'll break the spine. And I'll watercolor on both sides because it's thick enough to do that. I don't know about markers. I haven't tested it with markers. But I've seen, I think it's Nikki Napalm does it. She uses the exact same sketchbook, only she gets the hardcover ones, which I wish I had gotten the hardcover one because it would help to keep because once it's done, like, the paper will be wrinkled, but if you set it on its heaviest side, it does end up flattening. Because when I first did Amy in here, it was super wrinkled and I was really disappointed. I was like, how does she get hers to stay flat and I can't get mine to stay flat? Well, honestly, it's the cover. If I had gotten the hardcover one, it would have flattened it altogether. But I had this underneath a book for a long time, and then I had it on its heaviest side, and this was super wrinkled last night and has actually gotten quite a bit straighter. So if you're going to use it for watercolor, I suggest you guys get the hardcover one. It helps with the added weight to keep the pages flat. I got the soft cover one, I believe, because it was the only one that they had at Michael's at the time. They were sold out of the hardcover ones. I was just there yesterday and I seen that they had the hardcover ones. I was very tempted to get it. I'm trying not to though, because I'm paid bi-weekly, and I'll get one more paycheck from my other job next week on Thursday, but that's it, and then I'm done. So I'm trying really, really, really hard not to spend any money until I get some paychecks in, and then I need to pay my bills, and then it'll be a couple more weeks, and then maybe I can start buying fun stuff. Anyway, point being is that it holds the watercolor really well. So I drew this little cute Piper thing. And initially it was just gonna be Piper like in a wedding dress or something, but then I kind of we were talking in live stream and we got talking about Phantom of the Opera, and she kind of looks like I put her as Christine Daae more so than anything. And then we got talking about like our different characters and what roles they would play if they did Phantom of the Opera. I don't think Piper would be Christine Daae though. I don't think she has the vocal range for it. Her singing is more so for sick children or people like she's trying to comfort, but it wouldn't be like in front of people, masses of people. That'd be more Poppy's thing. But anyway, so I watercolored this. I used my Koi watercolors, which I've barely touched since I got and Pentel Pocket Brush Pen and all that good fun stuff. And I think it turned out pretty cute. I think that I just need more practice. I think that I shouldn't have done the background at all. I think if I had done anything, it should have just been splashes of color and then just blown them out so they look like drops. But no, I got this crazy idea that, oh, well, I'm an artist, so let's do this. Yeah, but it's okay. You live and learn, and yeah, move on. So I'll do better on the next one, and it'll be on this page. But yeah, so that's it for that sketchbook. And then I, of course, have my multimedia where I use my markers. And this week I did, well, actually I did this one last week. I just didn't show you guys because I don't know why. I did this quick picture of Poppy from the Harp and Stars roleplay group. Got a picture of her singing, and it's just really, really cute. It's all Copics, and I think it turned out really nicely. It scanned pretty good too, so I'm happy with it. It's Poppy. And then I did a nudity challenge on Instagram, but I can't really show you guys that because YouTube. I mean, this one's fine because she's covered up, but I'm not going to show you the other one, which is why it's clipped. And we'll just turn the page. And then this is Adam. I can show you guys this one because there's no inappropriateness. With Adam's picture here, I kind of went in reverse. Since I'm running out of all of my marker colors and I don't have any refills, I went ahead and I put down a dark base color, and then I went over it in color pencil, and it sort of worked. It kind of gave it this weird sort of texture feel to it, but it worked. But I'm still not very thrilled with it. I don't like how it turned out, but you know, art's art and you learn from it, so I finished it in any case. And then I was watching Joy Sound's live stream, and I grabbed a couple markers, and one's a Sharpie and then the other one was a Copic, and I was like, oh, okay, well, they're like basically the same color. So I went ahead and I did Amy since it was her hair color. I was like, yeah, I haven't done Amy in a while, so let's draw her. And I did. And then this is from a role play called The Shady Gentleman, where Piper meets Samuel, and she finds him crawling in an alley. He's been biffed upside the head, and he's slightly concussed. And she helps him and is in the process of helping him, but he's making it very awkward because that's the kind of dude he is. But yeah, Piper helps everybody, so it was bound to happen that she was going to meet him, probably in an alley, injured. It was just destiny. And that is it for this week, guys. It's a decent amount. I usually do more sketching, but the colored works do take a long time for me because I'm just not as quick at them as I am at my sketches. But yeah, that's it for this week. If you guys liked what you saw, feel free to like, subscribe, comment below. Any announcements? No, other than I'm still planning for that 10,000 giveaway, but I need to get my subscriber count up there first. So if you guys have any ideas of what I could do, I had a couple requests to show how I do like Piper's hair and Cherry's hair, and I can go ahead and do that. That's not a big issue with me if you guys want to see that. I just feel like those sorts of videos are a little bit boring because like you could kind of see how I do the hair. Let me think. Yeah, I guess I'll just start focusing on more speed paints or speed drawings or whatever. But other than that, I'm still looking for ideas on what to do as far as videos go. So if you guys know of any, then go ahead and let me know below, and I'll try and get them done. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next sketchbook review.